Ron Desantis just dropped a bomb on Florida condos, on the Florida condo market. He dropped a bomb on Florida condo owners, and so did the Florida legislature. They just dropped a bomb on everyone and everything that has anything to do with Florida condos, including the boards and the associations. And just when you thought that the Florida condo market couldn't get much worse, it does. Because the breaking news that just came out today is no bueno. And with condo prices skyrocketing in many places and all the additional fees that go along with that, for insurance, for taxes, for maintenance, for reserves, improvements and repairs, and all the things, including a Fannie Mae blacklist, which I talked about in another video, which I'll link up there so you can check out. But the last thing anybody interested in a Florida condo wants to hear about is another bomb being dropped on them by DeSantis and the Florida legislature. And the last thing I want to do is ruin anybody's Happy New Year. I hope you all have a tremendous 2024. But I'm committed to telling you the truth, not necessarily what you want to hear. But breaking news, condos might be eligible for home hardening grants if the Florida legislature agrees. And while at first glance that may sound or look like it's good news, because there are so many Florida condos that are at risk of structural collapse and require updating immediately, and unfortunately, the sense of urgency around those improvements and around those structural changes became much more obvious after the Surfside Tower collapse. But Florida homeowners have had an unfair advantage over Florida condo owners in the recent past because Florida has been making thousands of dollars available to single-family homeowners for storm hardening improvements. Condo owners have felt completely left out. And while I suspect there is a very specific reason why, I also know that with the recent legislative changes and condos being forced to come up to code and improve structurally, or they will be at risk of being shut down and a developer coming in, imploding the building, building something brand new, and maxing out the highest and best use of that land, leaving all of the people who lived in the building essentially homeless. But the proposed My Safe Florida condominium pilot program would make inspections and grants available to condo associations and unit owners for improvements similar to those funded under the existing My Safe Florida home program. And back in November, the legislature authorized $176 million on top of the $225 million previously committed to the program. In his budget proposal, Governor Ron DeSantis announced plans to seek $107 million for the program on a recurring basis beginning next year. And according to Broward County Rep. Christine Hunchofsky, and I probably mispronounced her last name, but she is co-sponsoring this bill with Miami-Dade Rep. Vicky Lopez because condo owners are also homeowners who have also been impacted by increased property insurance costs and the structural reserve requirement that went into effect after the Surfside condo building collapse. And they are pushing for the same benefits that homeowners have for condo owners, which are $2,500 per unit if sought for a project that benefits an entire association, or $500,000. And improvements for individual condominium units would be eligible for $5,000 each. But unlike the My Safe Florida home program, individual unit owners would not be able to apply for grants on their own. Participation would require a favorable vote by association governing boards or eligible unit owners. And unanimous approval would be required of all unit owners within the structure or the building. That is the subject of the migration grant. Now, if you've ever been on a condo board or you've ever been in a homeowners association board or on it, you know how difficult it is for anybody to agree on anything. And on financial matters, it is far more complicated and less likely that you ever get unanimous approval on anything. And one of the big things to watch out for and have oversight on is ensuring that the board does not have a sweetheart deal or a side deal or a exclusive financially benefiting relationship with the contractor that they're hiring. Because there has been all types of fraud and nightmare situations where homeowner associations or condo associations have been in bed with the contractor and put the money in their own pocket. And no, I don't mean the board or the condo association's pocket. I mean in their own pocket, which is illegal, criminal, and fraud. And while it doesn't happen with the same frequency that it used to in the past, unfortunately, it still happens because people are people. And while there are some tremendous people on the boards of these associations, and they really are doing God's work in many ways, there are also some real big scumbags out there that don't care about anybody but themselves and will steal from anybody any opportunity that they get. So oversight, accountability, and transparency are critical. But the wrinkle in this program that I think is something to watch out for is that the association selects the contractor. And after the project is completed, a final inspection would take place and the state would reimburse associations $2 for every $1 spent up to the maximum allowable grant. And while all of this probably sounds like it's good news and not a bomb being dropped on the Florida condo market, I know that these grants aren't enough. They're not even close. They're a drop in the bucket in terms of the financial cash outlay that needs to be provided in order to bring many of these condos up to where they need to be, up to the new structural requirements, which means that the Florida legislature and Ron Desantis are taking our tax money and they're writing out checks with our tax dollars to condos that are destined and doomed to fail and eventually legally collapse, which then allows another investor or a contractor or a builder or a hedge fund to come in and build their own brand new condo and profit off everyone else's pain and hard-earned money. But this grant, which looks good on paper, is a Band-Aid on top of a dam that's about to explode. And while all Florida condos are at risk, not every condo and not every condo association is in the same jeopardy financially. And if you want to learn more, please reach out because who you hire matters.